how do you claim that Christianity or Muslim or Buddhism or this particular religion that you are promoting is in fact the correct one, is in fact the right one, is in fact the one that everyone should follow, and ask that the hundreds of other religions that are in existence, you should dismiss them. Or maybe not dismiss them, but at least I know that Christianity, they profess that God, and there's a God, and there's Jesus is the Son of God,
right?
And this is a religion that you should ascribe to. So I guess how do you reconcile that, being that there's hundreds of other religions?
Okay, first of all, before I answer your question, I want to thank you. You are awesome. Why? Because you think clearly and you're respectful, and I appreciate that a lot. So thank you, sir. And it's a really profound question you're obviously raising, because we're talking about a lot of humanity when you raise that issue. All right, here's the first point. If I say to you that 2 plus 2 equals 4, meaning by that 2 plus 2 does not equal 3, and it does not equal 5, is that narrow-minded intolerance on my part?
I would say so, yeah.
You would. You would say that the person who says 2 plus 2 equals 4, it does not equal 3, it does not equal 5, that they are a narrow-minded, intolerant person? My point was simply to smash the whole idea that if anybody makes a truth claim, be it in the area of mathematics, be it in the area of biology, be it in the area of ethics, be it in the area of religion, that they are automatically narrow-minded and intolerant. That's false. But you guys are being taught the opposite. You guys are being taught that, oh, no. If anybody makes a truth claim, that's arrogant, intolerant, and narrow-minded. And I'm trying to bust apart what you're being taught, obviously. Okay?
That's why in science that there's theories rather than facts, because it is kind of narrow-minded to say that something is a factual thing. Even though tons of science supports it, scientists still recognize that their subject is there's faults in it. So you make theories, not facts. I think that, in fact, when you try to say something is a fact, then you are, in fact, being narrow-minded, because there could be so many different arguments or experiments that have yet to be done that can prove the exact opposite.
Okay, fine. So do you really believe that if I say 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 3, not 5, that I am being intolerant, bigoted, and narrow-minded? No, I don't think you do you?
There's evidence that supports that.
There's evidence. Good. There's evidence. Okay, now that gets to the second point with your excellent question. You're right. I'm confronted by Buddha making some very thoughtful claims about the purpose of life being to escape suffering, to deal with suffering. I'm confronted by Muhammad saying that there's one God, Allah, and that Muhammad is his prophet, and that if you want to go to heaven, there are 5 pillars that you have to follow. So yes, I am confronted by contradictory religions. And then I've got Jesus Christ, who comes along saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, what I can't conclude, although everything in my environment tells me to conclude this is, they're all the same. No, that's intellectual suicide. They're not all the same. The same way, you're not that guy, and that guy is not this woman. You have unique individuality. There's truth involved. Similarly, Buddha, Muhammad, and Jesus contradict each other on many situations. Do they agree in many other situations? Yes, particularly in the area of ethics. You'll find the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, in almost every major world religion. So now the question becomes, as this gentleman said so accurately, what does the evidence point to? Does the evidence point to Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, being a reliable source of information about life? Or does the evidence point to Muhammad being a reliable source of information about God, heaven, the way to heaven? Or does the evidence point to Jesus Christ being a reliable source of information about God, about heaven, about the way to heaven, about how to live your life? The reason, sir, that I trust Jesus Christ is because the historical evidence of the way Jesus lived, the way he treated people, the content of his ethical teaching, like the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Thirdly, the evidence of the way he died, nailed to a wooden crossbeam. Instead of cursing his enemies, he prayed, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But fourthly, and most importantly, 3 days after Christ died, he rises from the dead. Over a period of 40 days, he appears to over 500 people who see him, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 15, risen from the dead. Sir, I promise you, if you live the way Jesus lived, if you teach the teachings he taught, if you die the way he died, loving and forgiving his enemies, and if you 3 days after you die rise from the dead, I promise to take very seriously everything you have to say. Why? Because the obvious, overwhelming evidence is you are trustworthy. So that is why faith in Christ is such a wise decision, because the evidence is he is reliable.
I feel like religion is notorious for conceiving an idea. Just looking at history, for conceiving an idea, try to make it true, either by propaganda, or a blackmail or torture. While science makes a discovery, and everyone involved immediately tries to disprove it before they publish it, so they don't make idiots of themselves.
Okay.
And they're not asserting, or they're not biting off more than they can chew. They're not assuming too much. Are you aware of the God of the Gaps theory?
Defined as God is whatever fills the gaps.
Yeah.
Right. And science discovers more, God shrinks.
Science discovers more.
Yeah. Yes, I understand it. Many people have exactly that view of God. Whatever I don't know, I call it God. And then as science increases, God shrinks, obviously, because the gaps get closed. Yes, sir, I'm aware of that.
In the times of when it was thought that the sun revolved around the earth,
right?
Galileo, he made a claim against the church, but it's not in fact true. He made a discovery. And now it's well understood. That it is the sun that is the
center of a solar system.
Yeah, and that stays the center. But the church, as soon as he made this discovery, and as soon as he made it public, the church imprisoned him. And he had to claim otherwise. He had to claim that this scientific discovery was not true. He stated what the church wanted to hear. And this is why I put my faith. I put my faith in people that are inquisitive and don't assume way too much, and try to find out the why behind the how. Does that make sense?
Sure, makes total sense.
As opposed to this concept of religion that through the years it has been, without fail, it is attempted to suppress any other idea that may contradict it, and any other idea that religion may profess to claim that.
All right. 2 quick points. First point is, you and I agree. The Christian church has done some atrocious things, which means if I were to put my faith in Christianity, in the Christian church, I'd be a fool. Because historical evidence is the church has been used to do some horrible things. But remember, the church that persecuted Galileo did not turn Galileo off to Christ. Galileo saw very clearly the mistake that the Christian church was making. But Galileo put it magnificently when he wrote, "The Bible tells us how to go to heaven, not how the heavens go." Galileo had great faith in Christ, and he did great science. He had the open-mindedness and the intellectual honesty to realize the Bible never once says that the sun goes around the earth. The Bible never once gives us a scientific understanding of the cosmos. You will find many different types of literature in the Bible. Historical narrative, poetry, apocalyptic literature. You will find no science anywhere in the Bible. Science being a description of process, how things work. So that's why, although the church did persecute Galileo, Galileo retained his deep faith in Christ, and he contradicted the church. So remember, the issue is not how corrupt is the church. I think we all agree on that one. The church at times has been very corrupt. The issue is Jesus Christ corrupt? Is he reliable, or is he not reliable? That's the issue.
That suggests that morality doesn't exist independently of the Bible. And I would argue that morality exists independently of the Bible and of religion. You see godless animals practicing morality all the time. Bats, when they go out to hunt, one bat may have an incredible, may have captured a large prey, but another may have got nothing. What bats will do is they'll share their prey, hoping that bat will reciprocate the next time. These are godless animals that practice morality. I don't feel like this is my personal opinion. I don't feel like you need the Bible to act morally.
You're absolutely right. We agree.
I don't feel like I don't have to understand the Ten Commandments to care about my neighbor or to be considerate.
Exactly.
Or I feel like religion was one of the Christianity. They may have been, one of the first institutions to canonize morality, put it like in friendly consumer packages for people to follow. But I feel like it definitely exists independent of Christianity.
Once again, we totally agree. All of my atheist friends have a system of morality. All of my agnostic friends, my Buddhist friends, my Hindu friends, my secular friends, all have a system of morality. So we agree, you don't need the Bible in order to understand right and wrong. Second point, though, is crucial. If there is no mind prior to the human mind, in other words, if there is no God, then morality is obviously the creation of the human mind, which means it's relative. Which means, when I was at the University of Arizona, a young man said, "Of course I date rape." I asked him why. He said, "Because I have a very high testosterone level." So he had his own morality that included date rape as being good. Now, if there is no God, there's no mind prior to his mind and my mind that in an absolute sense, an objective sense, defines right and wrong. It's all relative, depending on your culture, depending on your individuality. I don't agree with that.